Welcome to Tour Gliding. Today we take off on an exciting sightseeing tour through the city of Cambridge. We'll explore historical landmarks, meaningful public spaces, as well as more recent architecture and attractions that make up this thriving community. Well before Cambridge was established as a city, there were people living and flourishing on this land for generations. The land this city sits on is known as the Haldeman Tract, which spans for 6 miles on either side of the Grand River. This area is known as the traditional indigenous territory of the Neutral, Anishinaabe, and Haudenosaunee peoples. Cambridge was officially incorporated in 1973, founded from the unique merger of 3 cities, Galt, Preston, and Hespeler. Each community brings its own story, with its own heritage, and yes, a hint of rivalry that still lingers today. At the time, there was quite a bit of pushback from locals when the provincial government went through with the merger. To this day, you might hear residents proudly claim their roots in Galt, Preston, or Hespeler. Cambridge is home to a remarkable number of stone buildings, the result of 3 key factors: an abundant local supply of building stone, excellent limestone for mortar, and the arrival of skilled masons in the early 19th century. Today, the city has a diverse population of residents and is situated within the fastest growing region in Canada, the region of Waterloo. First on our tour is the downtown core of Galt, picturesque with the Grand River running through it. The downtown was allegedly nicknamed the City of Spires due to the skyline being adorned with several church steeples and clock towers. Because of its historic charm and architecture, the city has been used as a backdrop for major TV shows, such as The Handmaid's Tale, The Queen's Gambit, and Murdoch Mysteries. Galt showcases an impressive array of stone buildings and homes built of limestone or field granite. Few places in Ontario have as many industrial buildings made of local stone. From factories to the business blocks lining Main Street, these enduring structures showcase the town's timeless beauty. In 1816, a prominent lawyer named William Dixon, practicing in Newark, what we now know as Niagara-on-the-Lake, purchased 90,000 acres of land along the Grand River. Accompanied by Absalom Shade, a carpenter from Buffalo, Dixon ventured north along the river to inspect these newly acquired lands. It was here they established Shade's Mills, a settlement that would later be renamed Galt in 1827 in honor of the Scottish novelist John Galt. Back then, this was a community in its infancy, slowly growing around its new mills and post office, as settlers arrived to build their future. Galt's early days were humble, rooted in agriculture. But by the late 1830s, it began to evolve into a bustling industrial hub, earning the nickname the Manchester of Canada. For much of the 19th century, Galt was the largest and most important town in the region, before it was eventually surpassed by Berlin, now known as Kitchener. Those folks always think they're better than Cambridge, don't they? Flying into the core of Galt, we can find the Cambridge City Hall, a mix of modern and traditional architecture. Starting with its bold beginnings, the site dates back to 1857, where it was once Galt's town hall. The initial design was thought to be unimpressive. At the time, Galt's 3,500 citizens held a town meeting to voice their concerns. Locals felt the building design lacked the grandeur needed to reflect Galt's growing significance as an industrial center. After overcoming a few hurdles, the town hall took shape, opening its doors in 1858, with a first-floor council chamber, a basement market, and the mayor himself laying the cornerstone. In the 1960s, architect Peter Stokes added some modern elements, relocating entrances and incorporating an elevator into the tower. A conservation master plan has brought the building closer to its original configuration, restoring its woodwork, masonry, and iconic bell tower. This plan also connects the historic City Hall with a modern neighboring administration building, bridging old and new, literally, while preserving the stonework that makes this building so unique. Today, it's a living museum and working City Hall, anchoring the Civic Square and sharing its plaza with a historic cast of neighbors, including the Wellesley Methodist Church, built in 1879. The Cambridge Farmers Market, built in 1887. The Cambridge Center for the Arts, built in 1922. And the Galt Fire Hall, built in 1898. From the clock tower to stonework, the Cambridge City Hall is a step through history that forms a living tapestry for the city's rich civic and cultural past. Welcome to the old post office. Built between 1884 and 1887, with its prominent location overlooking the Grand River, this building once housed Galt's post office, customs office, and other essential government services. Its unique style is the work of Thomas Fuller, Canada's chief architect at the time, who aimed to make this and other federal buildings symbols of national reverence in small communities across Canada. This 2.5-story building is an eclectic mix of Gothic, Romanesque, and Second Empire styles. You can see these influences in its clock tower, designed to be visible from both the street and the river. Meticulous stonework with rich textures and carefully placed contrasts in color gives the building a sense of depth and elegance. Even its windows are a nod to Romanesque revival, with arching semicircular frames that draw your eyes to the intricate stone detailing around each opening. Positioned on a prime corner lot, this site captures views from every angle, connecting the historic Galt area with the river's edge. In recent years, the post office underwent a massive renovation, with interiors being updated and the addition of modern structural elements. The original stone facade was preserved and stands as a homage to Thomas Fuller's vision of functional yet striking architecture. Today, it's an all-digital library, providing study space, public programming, or even just a place to relax and take in the views of the Grand. Gliding up the river, we find Cambridge Mill. Built in 1842, this 5-story stone structure is one of the city's oldest surviving industrial landmarks. The building itself is formally known as the Dixon Mill. The rushing waterfall we see is a result of the dam built in 1837. designed to harness the river's energy for both the Dixon Mill and the Turnbull Textile Mill, which we'll touch on later. The mill's stone walls were quarried right here in town and are embedded with heart-shaped fossils, left behind by ancient mollusks, adding to an even deeper layer to the mill's history. The mill was originally established by Mr. James Ewart in 1843 and named in honor of Robert Dixon, son of Galt's founder, William Dixon. At its peak, the mill was generating more water-driven energy than any other water power plant in Waterloo County. Over the years, it took on new roles, housing the Galt Gas and Light Company from 1889 to 1911, a company that brought light to Galt until hydroelectric power from Niagara took over. By the 1980s, after extensive renovations, the old stone mill was transformed into the picturesque mill restaurant, offering dinners with sweeping views of the river and a unique chance to immerse in Galt's past. Just steps from the mill, we find Mill Race Park, created in 1978 from the remnants of the Turnbull Textile Mill, paying tribute to the industrious past that once powered Galt's economic prosperity. Visitors can peek into the excavated mill raceway or canal, once housing machinery that worked tirelessly to keep the town thriving. The park itself was part of a larger riverbank development program, started after the city was struck by a severe flood in 1974, helping to preserve the area's natural beauty while minimizing future flood damage. Today, Mill Race Park is a seamless blend of history and recreation. It's a spot for summer concerts, food vendors, holiday displays, and wedding photos. A beautiful reminder of Galt's industrious past and a vibrant part of Cambridge's present. Flying over the pedestrian bridge, we enter the Gaslight District. A reimagined industrial area where history and modern amenities merge to create a one-of-a-kind atmosphere. Back in the 1800s, this area was a hub of industry, crafting engines, boilers, and water wheels. These buildings are believed to be one of Ontario's last intact collections of heritage industrial sites. Today, they've been carefully reimagined into a community hub, filled with restaurants, galleries, and event spaces like Conestoga's Smart Centre. You'll even find a brewery and tapestry hall, an event space where everything from concerts to weddings come alive. The heart of the Gaslight District is the square, which hosts everything from sports games on the jumbo screen to outdoor movie nights. People come here for a night out, for food, or to immerse themselves in local events. The Gaslight District is relatively unknown outside of the region, and you might just want to keep it all to yourself as well. Just don't gaslight your friends. As we fly past the old train bridge, you might be wondering what an entire castle is doing in the middle of Cambridge. This ornate building is actually a school. Although not for witchcraft and wizardry, it's known as Galt Collegiate Institute, or GCI. Built from fossilized limestone, quarried from the riverbanks nearby, The school's architecture is an example of the Scottish baronial style. Features of the style include the crow-step gables, Romanesque arches, and two stone towers that dominate the skyline. The main tower being the subject of much rumor, with students and staff claiming ghostly encounters. Superstition aside, inside the main entrance, history greets you with a memorial tablet commemorating students who served in World War I and II. Set back from the road with spacious grass fields and forested banks, the land was donated by the founding Dixon family, who were key in establishing Galt as a center for education. Originally known as Galt Grammar School, it started as a private school for boys back in 1852, shaping generations of scholars and leaders under the guidance of esteemed educators like William Tassie. Today, Galt Collegiate Institute remains a staple landmark in Cambridge, from its majestic towers to the generations of students who've passed through its doors. Galt Collegiate is a major cornerstone of Cambridge's story. As we glide into downtown Preston, we can see that King Street still carries architectural traces of its German-speaking Mennonite founders who settled in the early 1800s. Drawn here by the arable lands along the Grand and Speed rivers, one of the first settlers was John Erb in 1805, where his sawmill and gristmill sparked the beginnings of the town. By the 1830s, young tradesmen and artisans flocked here, drawn by the growing community and its opportunities. You can picture the streets buzzing with craftsmen, their work building the foundations of Preston's future. But this town wasn't just about work. It was also about healing and leisure. Back in 1837, an Erb family member drilling for salt stumbled upon sulfur-rich springs. Initially dismissed as worthless, stinky water, the high sulfur content was later hailed for its medicinal properties. This discovery transformed Preston into a destination for health seekers from across North America. Several hotels opened up in town, most notably the Delmont Hotel, later renamed to the Preston Springs Hotel, which was built in 1888 to take advantage of this health craze. Its mineral baths drew celebrities like the famous baseball player Babe Ruth and Lucy Maud Montgomery, author of Anne of Green Gables. Contributing to Preston's growth was the railway that was built in 1894, connecting Preston with its neighbors Galt and Hespeler. Suddenly, Preston wasn't just a quiet village. It was a growing hub where people, tourism, and industries flourished. Sadly, the town's glory days eventually faded, as did the hotel. While it served various purposes like housing naval trainees in World War II and a retirement home, it eventually fell into disrepair and was demolished in 2020. The story of the town is a reminder of Preston's once thriving tourism era. And today, living in Preston means being a part of a community steeped in history, but alive with modern energy, the downtown recently being revitalized and restored. Although the era of sulfur healing baths are well behind it, the lush natural areas surrounding Preston can have healing properties of their own. These areas include Riverside Park, which is right next to where the hotel was located, Linear Park, which runs alongside the Grand River, North Dumfries Conservation Area, and the Walter Bean Trailhead. All places you can escape into nature, take a walk along the trails, have a picnic, or maybe it's just a place to touch grass, watch the river, and nourish your mental health. Welcome to Hespeler, a charming historic town built on a hilly landscape next to the Speed River. Hespeler's story begins in 1784, but the town itself really grew in the 1800s. Originally called Burgetown, then New Hope, it became Hespeler in 1858, named after Jacob Hespeler, a German entrepreneur who arrived in 1845. His vision transformed this small settlement into a hub of industry, with a grist mill, distillery, and woolen mill among his achievements. By 1901, Hespeler officially became a town. Its industry carried on with factories producing bathtubs, appliances, and even hockey sticks. Today you can still sense that industrious past in the old stone factory buildings and architecture left behind, some of which have since been renewed into residential units. The town sits along the Speed River, a 56-kilometer offshoot of the Grand River, with trails and lookouts offering stunning views of the river and village. The Hespeler Mill Pond, Dam, and Jacob's Landing are perfect for exploring the area's natural beauty. It's a quaint place where you can take a moment to watch and listen to the cascading waterfall, inviting you to pause and embrace the moment. Flying over the old Hespeler Town Hall, this two-story brown brick building was constructed in 1914. It was designated as a heritage site by the city of Cambridge in 2001. Together with the nearby library and other surrounding structures, it creates an impressive streetscape that tells the story of the community. It housed the offices of the mayor and clerk, the police department, and even the town jail, as well as facilities for taxation, health, and welfare services. The site is now a fire hall, which keeps its function as a government building while preserving the structure itself. Right next door, we can explore the incredible transformation of the Hespeler Library, a project that has revitalized a 1923 Carnegie Library. The library pays homage to the town's thousands of mill workers who helped shape its identity. During World War II, Hespeler was Canada's largest mill town, producing uniforms and providing jobs for nearly 5,000 workers. Inspired by Hespeler's textile history, the glass casing represents layers of fabric, casting shadows that reflect different times of the day, inviting viewers to peer closer to discover the original structure within. Not only is this transformation beautiful, the building doubles its usable space and has slashed energy use by over half. This approach to sustainability has earned the library multiple architectural awards. This space honors collective memory and points to a new vision of what libraries can be in the 21st century. Places where design, function, and history seamlessly intertwine. On the topic of education and eco-friendly initiatives, Cambridge is home to two Conestoga College campuses. First, Conestoga's Fountain Street campus. Opened in August 2011, this impressive 260,000 square foot facility is just across Highway 401 from Conestoga's Kitchener Dune campus. Here, you'll find the School of Engineering and Technology, several programs from the School of Trades and Apprenticeship, and the Institute of Food Processing Technology. The campus has 1,800 solar panels to support a 500 kilowatt system, generating 750,000 kilowatt hours of electricity per year, equivalent to 65.4 homes using electricity for 1 year. This solar array provides enough renewable energy to power 100% of the heating and cooling for the nearby campus. A short drive away, we arrive at Conestoga's Skilled Trades Campus on Reuter Drive, a vital hub that opened in 2022 to meet Ontario's demand for skilled workers. Spanning over 40 acres along Highway 401, the first phase of this campus includes a state-of-the-art 322,000 square foot building with over 150,000 square feet of dedicated shops and labs. Designed specifically for industrial, manufacturing, and construction trades training. Conestoga's Cambridge campuses are right at the heart of hands-on education. Gliding into nature, just minutes from the city. Shades Mills Conservation Area is a beautiful day-use park, packed with activities for every season. In the warmer months, you can hit the water and try your hand at paddling or a variety of other water activities. You can also explore the area's 12 kilometers of trails, winding through mature hardwood forests along Mill Creek. And for beachgoers, there's a long sandy beach along the reservoir, great for a swim or a family picnic. When winter arrives, the park transforms, offering cross-country skiing, snowshoeing, and even ice fishing. Shades Mills is a year-round destination, ideal for experiencing the outdoors. So whether you're after a serene paddle, a scenic hike, or just a place to picnic and unwind, Shades Mills Conservation Area has you covered, any day, any season. Thank you for joining us on our tour through the city of Cambridge. As we conclude our journey, we hope that this program has ignited your curiosity and inspired you to continue exploring this unique city, and to walk its streets with a newfound appreciation for its history and architecture. Embrace Cambridge as you immerse yourself in its attractions while engaging with the friendly community that calls this charming place home.